What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Post-Gazette Sports Now YouTube channel and podcast network. He is Andrew Destin. I am Noah Hiles. We are coming to you live from the Rogers Center here in Toronto, Canada, where the Pirates dropped 2 of 3 games, Andrew. A very interesting series. I think there was some good, there was some bad. There was just a lot of head scratching, like what just happened.
Yeah.
So we'll get into it now. We each have 3 observations. I just realized, am I on the right side of my name? Yeah, it will roll.
You're good.
We're keep her go. We're gonna keep
It's
her
Sunday.
going.
Come on,
yeah,
we're
it's
good.
Sunday. We're tired. Here we go. What's your first observation, Andrew?
For me, there's a couple of places I could go to, but the first is a conversation I had with Brian Hayes after Saturday's game. He was talking to me about coming off the injured list. He's only been back a few games. That he doesn't want to think about swing mechanics when he's at the plate. He just wants to focus on keeping his bat behind the ball, letting the barrel do the work, being simple. These are very different observations and comments from Brian, as many Pirates fans will know, because what was the theme of last year was incorporating the toe tap. It was how he was working through different mechanics, working with various hitting coaches, things of that nature. So I found those comments to be particularly interesting, coming in light of him hitting only his second home run of the season, get a couple of hard hit balls today, another hit. So I'm curious to see what we see from Brian moving forward, because this season so far has not been good enough. I thought that was kind of a change in tune from Brian. How would you phrase it?
I mean, sometimes it helps in the game of baseball to just throw it out the window and start anew. And I think that's what we're seeing here. Where last year, like you pointed out, it was all mechanics. It was focusing on everything. And maybe he realized he was doing that a little too much. Yeah. Some time down allowed him to kind of reset. And he's just like maybe thinking, hey, let's just play ball and we'll get through it. So I'll move on now to my first observation, which is I'll go with Mitch Keller.
Yeah.
Another great start from Mitch Keller. That's five wins in a row, 5 decisions. So just he's continuing to deal. He is the guy that this team wanted to sign to a large extension. He's the guy that they paid. What did they end up paying? $77 million. Yeah, I was getting confused with Brian's number, and you juggle them all around. You forget every now and then. But Mitch is just consistent with what he does. It's at least 5 innings every time. He had 80 pitches through 4 innings yesterday, and then finds a way to get through 6. Allows the home run there, but still 2 earned runs just one earned run in 6 innings. A guy who had a 1.34 ERA in May continues it over to June, and this is what you have to be optimistic about if you're a Pirates fan right now, when you're seeing what Mitch is doing, what Skeens, with Jones, and then, of course, the guy you're going to talk about next. I mean, it's just been consistent, and I don't think it's just a little blip on the radar anymore. I think this is a true, legitimate strength that this club has for years to come.
100% with Keller especially. I mean, one note just add there is we saw in April the slow build, how that was kind of a conversation point. The velo looks great. I mean, he's rearing back when he needs to, touch 97. He's in prime midseason form.
Yes.
Another guy is certainly Bailey Falter. Many of us have written about him being a 5th starter, a guy who's a fringe rotation member coming into the season. With each start that passes, he's just further proving his case of why he not only should be in the rotation, why he's maybe been the most consistent member of the Pirates rotation.
Why he might be an all-star this year.
It's not inconceivable. He has been excellent. And it's against good teams, too. Like you look back at some of the starts he's put together. On the road at Wrigley against the Cubs, nearly no-hitting the Orioles, coming here to Toronto and doing what he did to a Blue Jays lineup that, while underperforming, still has a lot of big names.
Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. I mean, the list goes on. It's not like he's doing this against the Oakland A's and the Los Angeles Angels. He's doing this against good clubs. He's had a great season. He's using that fastball effectively. We saw it again here in Toronto.
Finished the month of May with a 233 earned run average, Andrew. That's pretty good, I would have to say. So move on now. My second area of focus, we'll go towards somebody who had a pretty good day today, and boy, did he need one.
Yeah.
Rowdy Tellez, a 3-hit effort, drove in 4 runs.
Mm-hmm.
What was that about?
Most since August of last year, man.
Yeah,
we haven't seen that in a while.
That's the bat that they went out and acquired, and I get it. I mean, a lot of his hits recently, even 2 of the 3 today, were singles. You're paying that guy to do a little bit more damage than that. But a multi-hit game for Rowdy Tellez in the stretch that he's been in for basically the last month plus now. He needed that. I'm sure he was happy to be back home. I mean, he started his career here in Toronto, had some of his best years in Toronto. The fans were happy to see him. He had a hit Friday as well. Yep. Just an overall really good series for him. Probably the best we've seen him since San Francisco, Andrew.
Yep, absolutely. And I think the key here is just, like you said, he had a similar game in San Francisco. We had a couple of nice at-bats, hit a double off of Camilo Duvall, the Giants closer, and you're thinking, okay, maybe this is the turning point for Rowdy Tellez, and it was anything but that, right? How do the Pirates make sure that this isn't just a blip, that this is something that continues moving forward, especially with the off day tomorrow? Pirates don't do well this season coming off of off days, and really under the Derek Shelton tenure. Yeah. I'm curious if they can keep this momentum going, because if they can, a really impactful bat for the Pirates. It's a good step, but we need to see more of it, right?
Yes, we do. We have 2 more observations, one each to list. But first, we got to talk about our show's presenting sponsor, which is the North Shore Tavern. If you love baseball, you'll love the North Shore Tavern. The interior is wall-to-wall Pirates. There are appetizers, entrees, cocktails, and, of course, steak and seafood on a sizzling lava stone. Open every day. The North Shore Tavern is across from PNC Park and is Pittsburgh's home for steak on a stone. Andrew, your final observation from this series.
Bullpen. Obviously on full display during Friday's game, where they covered 7 2/3 innings. Cal Nicholas did give up the home run there, but I believe across the weekend it was a sub-2 ERA for the bullpen. Give up, I believe it was either only 3 or 4 earned runs across 14 or 15 innings. The reason this is important, because how big of a struggle it was in May. And I know some guys have come into their own. You know, David Bednar in particular had a good month of May. Colin Holderman has been great all season. But it's the other guys, right? Carmen Majinski looked good again today. Hunter Stratton wasn't the best outing from him, but he covered 2 solid innings on Friday. Aside from not seeing Jose Hernandez, which is a different conversation, hasn't pitched in 9 days, and that apparently is the reason why he was held out from pitching in a relief situation today. But regardless, for the bullpen, this is a nice step forward. Can it continue? Remains to be seen. But the bullpen has not been a strength all season, and in some respects, it was this weekend.
Did you give Lou a shout-out? Did you talk about Lou?
3 inning save, man. First of his career. How could I forget Luis Ortiz?
Big guy Lou. There we go. So We'll round it off by, hate to end on a negative note, but my final observation is Ji Hwan Bay.
Yep.
For everything that Nick Gonzalez was coming up and providing a spark and changing this team as a reliable run producer in the middle of the order, Bay hasn't been. He has struggled mightily again. And I don't know, it's a short sample size. I'm not suggesting they send him down immediately or anything like this. But I think we're seeing the same exact player, Andrew, that we saw last year.
Yes.
We're seeing a very fast, athletic guy who doesn't really have a position and doesn't have the best swing. And he's great if you can get him on base. But aside from that, there's still a lot to figure out with this young guy. And when you just look around at other people who can play in the spots that he can play in and what this team needs, maybe that roster spot's better off going to someone else. I don't know. Again, I think it's too early to give up on him and send him back down. But I do think he needs to show a lot more here in the next couple of series.
Yeah, and I'm just curious to see how he gets deployed, right? Because with Michael A. Taylor, I know they really want to get him more playing time as he continues to work through his challenges. They're kind of platooning Ji Hwan Bay with him in the manner that they did with Jack Sawinski while he was up there. Mm-hmm. The issue with that is Ji Hwan Bay center field is not his natural position. No. And we saw that on full display on Friday night, where lost a ball in the twilight, in the lights of this stadium back behind us, whatever you want to call it. It was not good, and it was basically the reason that the Pirates lost. Not that one play ever is the reason, but that was as close to it as there was.
Yeah.
And also base running. Just something to highlight real quick was in Friday's game, he was safe. It ended up being an innocuous play, but he ran to third on a ground ball to the left side. That's a cardinal sin in baseball. He got lucky because he's so fast, but it just goes to show that, yes, he's gone down to the minors. Yes, he's made strides in certain areas, but core at the fundamentals of who he is as a ball player, we're still seeing some deficiencies, and those are only going to come back to bite this club.
So, a challenging series in Toronto. The good news is for the Pirates, they have an easy run coming up here. Oh, wait, they play the Dodgers. 3-game series against the Dodgers starting on Tuesday. Tyler Glasnow, Jared Jones to kick it off. Paul Skeens the next day against this lineup that the Dodgers have with, of course, Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani, among many other talented bats. Andrew, what are you most looking forward to in this series?
Above all else, Teoscar Hernandez. He's the most important player. What a guy. No, I kid.
He's actually pretty good.
He's had a great year as the 5-hole hitter for them.
I was going to say.
It's more that I kid because there's so many guys you could turn to here. But the thing that I think I'm most curious about is Tyler Glasnow returned to PNC Park. going to be the first start he ever makes at PNC, right?
Yeah.
First time back against the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be cool. I'm really just excited to see the whole Dodgers team and see what they bring to the table because, they're obviously a World Series contender. Curious to see how the Pirates stack up against them.
Skeens Ohtani is going to be must-watch.
Yeah.
It is. That is the most electrifying rookie that has taken on baseball since the last since Ohtani.
Yep.
I mean, that's like the hype. And I know it's a different type of player, but it is, potentially the new face of baseball going up against the current face of the game. It's going to be a lot of fun. We will have you covered. You can check out our work at post-gazette.com, and you can tune in to the Post-Gazette Sports Now YouTube channel and podcast network for all of your Pittsburgh sports analysis. Take care.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.